Sorry, het duurde even. De president had een afspraak met de koning die iets langer duurde. En toen heeft hij hierachter in de ministerskamer nog even aan zijn speech gewerkt. En die moest nog even geprint worden en al die Oekraïnse stekkertjes, die pasten niet op onze stekkertjes. En er is wat heen en weer gemaild, maar er is een speech uitgerold. En daar gaan we straks met heel veel plezier naar luisteren. Ik zal een aantal woorden ter introductie even in het Engels doen. I open this special session of members of the House of Representatives and members of the Senate on the occasion of an address by the President of Ukraine, Mr. Zelensky. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the President, to the members of his cabinet and his official staff. Mr. President, it's a great pleasure to host you here in our plenary chamber. With you are Deputy Prime Minister Ms. Stefanchina, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Sabia, Minister of Defense, Mr. Umarov, Head of the Office of the President, Mr. Yermak, and Ambassador Kostin as well. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. I'm in close contact with my esteemed colleague, Mr. Ruslan Stefanchuk, the President, of course, of the Ukraine Parliament. I follow his hard work to keep his parliament functioning, and he has my greatest respect. I also would like to welcome the members of the Senate and their President, Mr. Jan Anthony Bruin. The address of the President will be followed by short closing remarks by the Chairman of our Foreign Affairs Committee, Mr. Jesse Klaver. And after the speech of the President, he will leave immediately, and I would like to ask the members to stay in their seats until the President has left. Mr. President, you have the floor. We're very much interested in the speech you just wrote for us. Moet omhoog gaan.
Thank you very much. Dear friends, dear members of the Dutch Parliament, presidents of the House and the Senate, and all the people of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. I'm here with you today in person in your Parliament, first of all, to say thank you. Thank you for the fact that the Netherlands is one of the world's biggest defenders of life and one of the largest in Europe, together with Germany, Norway, and Sweden. Thank you. And we truly feel this support, and we felt it since the very first hours of the full-scale war. And I thank you for every decision that helps save lives in Ukraine. The air defense systems you have helped us with, the investments in our defense from the Netherlands, both I thank you for helping us move toward peace and for your honest, heartfelt support. Now, every single day in Ukraine starts the same way, with updates on the consequences of Russian strikes. And these attacks, almost all of them, cannot be explained by anything rational or humane. Just last night, 9 Russian Iranian Shahed drones struck an ordinary Ukrainian village in eastern part of Ukraine, in Sumy region, and 7 houses were completely destroyed. 22 more were badly damaged. Our rescuers pulled 3 children out from under the rubble. And 6 people were injured. Sadly, 3 were killed, including a child. My deepest condolences. That attack made no military sense, but how many were shattered? Right now, today in Ukraine, in the city of Dnipro, people are receiving help after a Russian ballistic missile strikes. 16 people have been killed. More than 100 have been injured right now, today. Many homes were affected, schools were damaged, and people were hurt. Even a passenger train was hit as it was simply following its route. The missile exploded right next to it. One way or another, life itself is the main target of these attacks, each one showing the true nature of Putin's war. He did the same in Chechnya, did the same in Syria, and now in Ukraine. His propagandists openly threaten other nations. Both our intelligence and yours and in Europe think that Russia is planning hostile and potentially destructive operations on NATO territory. And we must speak honestly about what kind of operations these are and what kind of hatred they show. Putin destroys lives, and that's how he defines control. And if he can kill people, if he can destroy homes, blackmail others, he believes he has power. To Russia, power means being able to kill or intimidate. Without that, they think that they have nothing. That's why they turn everything into a weapon, from old cultural ties of Russia or the Soviet Union to the energy resources they export today. For decades, Russia has built networks in other countries to prepare for sabotage and destabilization. Moscow never truly respects any alliance and always betrays its so-called partners, but it still builds ties with bloody regimes. With the help of such friends, Russia is simply improving its ability to kill. That's why solidarity in defense is so important, so that no one ever has to face them alone. This is not just about defending Ukraine right now, it's about much more. Russia has no right to kill our people. Russia has no right to kill anyone in European cities, which they have already done before. Russia has no right to threaten critical infrastructure in the Baltic, North Sea, or the Arctic, or in any sea in the world. Russia has no right to invest in terror or destruction in any country. And especially, Russia has no right to even threaten the transfer of nuclear weapons to any regime in the world, including the regime in Tehran or anyone else trying to back up madness with the power of nuclear explosions. Understanding what you do have the right to begins with knowing what you don't. That is where the borders of other security and freedom really begin, of other nations, people. Many in the world have already learned this. Russia still needs to. Russia must understand that rules exist. Putin pretends he doesn't understand what rules shape the modern world. And here in The Hague, I want to say this very clearly. For Putin, there is a rule: do not kill. There is a rule: do not act like a beast toward people. There is a rule, do not burn down cities and villages. There is also a rule, do not justify or sponsor terror. There is a rule, do not steal children. And if you break such rules, there must be responsibility. It may be hard for us to understand, but these are the very rules that form everything from the UN Charter and international law to our shared European way of life. A life built after World War II and the softest, most decent, safest, most decent life Europe has known in centuries. And we must protect this life, and we will protect it. Dear friends, since the beginning of the full-scale war, Russia has used 28,743 Shahid drones. In this June alone, they have already launched 2,736 Shahids. Russia could never have done this without its ties to the regime in Iran. And we in Ukraine could never have shut down most of these drones without your solidarity and the support of our partners. This fact speaks for itself. To truly end this war and build a real lasting peace, we need to act on two main directions. First, maximum isolation of Russia. That means political isolation, sanctions of all kinds, and cutting off any cooperation that helps them survive and keep fighting. Every scheme that keeps them going must be shut down, and I urge you to stay strong and principled in your pressure on Russia. We need a strong 18th EU sanctions package. We need tough, painful sanctions on Russian oil. There are many discussions right now about different options for a price cap on Russian oil. What matters most is that the price cap actually works, and when we talk about a price cap, it's important to remember any drop in Russia's oil revenue helps bring peace closer. But what really hurts them and truly limits their ability to wage a war is a cap at $30 per barrel. The world needs to reach this level, not only to help stop Russia's war against us, but also to prevent any future military operations Russia might launch against Europe and the allies. War plans must become deadly expensive for Russia. We need to truly block their tanker fleet and cut them off from international banking. That is what works. And the second direction, stability in defense support. I urge you to back all long-term programs of support and cooperation with us, with Ukraine. Russia must see that Ukraine will not be left alone and that Europe will not back down. And I thank the Netherlands for the new and very important defense package, especially the support for Ukraine's own weapons production. And it's vital to support the need for other European countries to raise their defense spending. Russia is stronger than any one of us alone, but it is weaker than all of us together. That's how Putin thinks in terms of potential, his own potential, and the potential of those he sees as targets or rivals. And if Russia sees that Europe's combined strength leaves it no chance for aggression, there will be no aggression. If Russia feels that we are striking back hard, painfully, then peace will become the most popular topic in Moscow. And we will get there together. Together we will get there. Knowing how Putin thinks, knowing how Russia wages war, and acting in ways that truly limit them and make it painful for them, we will bring peace closer. Let's get this job done. Let this war be warning to prevent a much bigger one. Russia must be forced into peace. Thank you for standing with us. Thank you, Netherlands. Slava Ukraini. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Some closing remarks by the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, Jesse Klaver.
Thank you. President Zelensky, thank you for those impressive and moving words. Thank you for coming here in person to convey to us what the people of your country are experiencing on a daily basis as a result of the Russian aggression. We live in turbulent times, and sometimes it seems as if there are so many developments in international politics that the news media can hardly keep up with it all. But the story of Ukraine needs to be continuously be told. We need to remember that the story of Ukraine in many ways is our story too. And when you thank us for our support, I would like to say, don't thank us. We have to thank you for what you and your country are doing to protect European security and democracy. Thank you. Mr. President, by inviting you to meet with us today on the margins of the NATO summit taking place in the Netherlands, the Foreign Affairs Committee of this House want to express the strong bilateral ties between our countries that fit into the wider security architecture of the Euro-Atlantic region. And I venture to say that since the first time you addressed us in those grim days of March 2022, the bonds between our countries and between our parliaments, the Staten-Generaal and the Verkhovna Rada, have grown deeper. Since your first speech here, many members of this parliament have visited Ukraine. Members from our Foreign Affairs Committee have visited Bucha and heard about the crimes from local citizens firsthand. We visited Irpin and stood on the ruins of destroyed apartment buildings. We visited the Verkhovna Rada and saw under what circumstances our colleagues have to conduct their meetings. We visited Chernihiv and saw the bombed local theater. We saw a power plant near Kiev that have been damaged by Russian missiles. Some of us even visit areas closer to the front. And in March of this year, I visited you in your presidential palace in Kiev with a European delegation of chairs of foreign affairs committees. And we had an impressive conversation there with you on the 3rd anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion in your country. Mr. President, our invitation to you today and our multiple visits to your country in the past years, and most important, our repeated votes in this House to continue financial and military support to Ukraine, this all shows a broad commitment in this Parliament to your defense against Russian aggression. And we hope that you have felt some of that commitment today. So thanks again. Thank you for coming here. And thank you for continuously defending our common European values. And we wish you fruitful meetings here in The Hague the coming days and safe travels when you return to Kiev. Slava Ukraini.
Ik sluit deze bijeenkomst. Dank u wel.